The home button above the charging port allows you to wake your iPad. If you press it a second time, it will unlock your iPad. It also allows you to navigate between apps. So I'm going to open Word, and then if I tap my home button one time, I can switch to a different app. Now, if I want to open up Word and double click very quickly the home button, I'm able to see the apps that are open. And that's another way that I can switch to different apps. Double click the home button quickly, you have your active apps. On this screen, you can also swipe up to close any apps that were open. The home button allows you to wake your iPad, unlock your iPad, and by double clicking quickly on the home button, you can access your active apps and close them if necessary. You can organize the apps on your iPad. So I'm going to swipe over to my next page, and I have a lot of Microsoft apps. So what I can do is I can click and hold on an app, and then this new menu will come down, and I'm actually going to select Edit Home Screen. And you're going to notice that the icons are kind of shaking. I can now begin to move them. To put them into a folder, I take the one I want and I want to move it on top of another app that I want in the same folder. It automatically thinks I want to call this productivity, so I'm going to change that and I'm going to call it Microsoft. And then I'm going to click done. And then if I click my home button, that will stop the apps from shaking. And now I have a folder started. I can now take my OneNote, click and hold, edit home screen, and then I can drag it into that folder. And again, I can click my home button when I'm done. So that is another way that you can organize your apps. We're going to be learning about settings on the iPad. The settings icon is typically on the main page. It's silver with some gears. I'm going to go ahead and open up my settings, and then on the left hand side I have all of these different topics that I can adjust. We're going to focus on just a few of these today. To begin with, we'll talk about Wi-Fi. If you would like to connect to your home Wi-Fi, you may go ahead and locate your name of the Wi-Fi, click on that, and enter your password if you have one set up. As a reminder, we do have cellular data on these iPads through T-Mobile, so you wouldn't have to connect to your Wi-Fi. We're going to scroll down on the left-hand side, and we're going to click on Accessibility. Accessibility will give us several different options, and there are two that we'd like to focus on today. Spoken content is one of those. We're going to turn on Speak Selection. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to select different words and have it read to me. So I'm going to go ahead and press the home button. I'm going to open up Safari, and I have this website open. I'm going to press and hold down, and I'm going to see this little blue box, and there's these two dots. I can drag to select the text I want spoken. My little menu comes up, so I hit Speak.
The Omaha Public School District.
And then if I click anywhere else on that screen, it will close that menu. So I'm going to click Home. I'm going to go back into Settings. It takes me back to where I left off with the spoken content, so I can click Accessibility again on the left-hand side to get to my main menu. Now we're going to take a look at some functions under Touch. Under Touch, you can turn on what's called Assistive Touch. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to turn it on. And you're going to notice that this little button appeared on my screen. I'm going to go ahead and click the Home button, and then I'm going to click on the Assistive Touch. What the Assistive Touch does is it allows me to select different options to access either apps or components on my iPad. For example, I can click on device and I can put the volume up or down right from my little assistive touch button. So if I hit home, it takes me home and it kind of closes it. What is great about this is we can customize it. So if we click on settings again, we're still in accessibility. And remember, we were in touch. We did assistive touch, turned it on, and now we're going to click on customize. So one of the things that you can do is you can change these buttons. So if I don't necessarily use notifications, I might want to change that to screenshot. Like I want to be able to take a quick screenshot. So I'm going to change that. I can also change custom, and custom may be my speak screen. And I can go ahead and click home. Now when I click on my button, I have screenshot and speak screen because those are the two changes that I made. One of the ones that's on there is the control center. And the control center is very similar to the assistive touch. So I have my little button that I can move around on the screen, and I have quick access to different components. The control center is actually accessed from up in the top right corner by the battery icon. If you click and drag down, you will see that you have another menu. It's similar to what you saw in the assistive touch, except there's different options here. So I can change my brightness, I can take a picture, I can open notes, I can change the volume. If I click home and I go back into settings and I go back, I'm going to go back all the way to accessibility, all these, and I want to customize what is in the control center. The control center is going to be located on the left hand side, its own topic, and we want to be able to customize those controls. So we click on this. So here are the ones that are included right now in the control center. And these are the ones that I can add. So if I don't think I'm going to use the QR reader, I can go ahead and remove that. And I want the stopwatch up there because I'm going to probably use that more. You can click on either the minus sign to remove or the plus sign to add. So I'm going to click my home button again, and I'm going to swipe down, and you're going to notice that now I have a stopwatch added to that, and I've taken off the QR reader. So you have some customizations that you can do with the control center as well. We're going to be learning about one of the apps on the iPad called Safari. It's one of the web browsers that is loaded on the iPad. It's located in the little dog at the bottom, and it looks like a compass. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And it's going to open up to the web page that I had opened previously, which is the Omaha Public Schools and Common Sense website. Let's talk about some of the features of Safari. Across the top, you have a little book which will give you access to your bookmarks. In addition to that, you have a plus sign which allows you to add additional websites or tabs. And then if I click the two squares in the corner, it's going to show me all the websites that I have open. And if I wanted to, I can click the X to close one. And then I can click Done. The other icon that it has is a share icon, and it is great. So if I want my school's website on the iPad, I can pull up, for example, Adams Elementary. I click on the little square with the arrow pointing up, which is the share icon, and I'm going to scroll till I see Add to Home Screen. I'm going to click that. It shows me a picture of what it's going to look like, and I click Add. I have Adams Elementary quick and easy on my iPad to get to that information. And you can share to the home screen any website that you want to have quick access to. So that is a great feature in Safari. You also have two A's up at the top of the screen. So I'm going to switch to this screen, and I'm going to click those two A's. And I can do a zoom in or a zoom out. So if I wanted to see more of the website on the screen, I can zoom out. Or if I want to zoom in closer so I can read it better, I can go ahead and do that as well. So those two little A's allows you to zoom in and out in Safari. We're going to be learning about the iPad keyboard, and we're going to be using an app on the iPad called Notes. Notes is typically on the main page, and it looks like a little piece of paper. We're going to go ahead and open Notes. When you first open Notes, you're going to go over to the right-hand corner, and you're going to click the piece of paper and a pencil, and that's going to create a new note. If I click anywhere on that piece of paper, my keyboard will appear. So there's a couple things that we'd like to point out about the keyboard. So first, I can just go ahead and type, and I use my little space bar. And then I also can type the numbers or symbols that are in gray above the letters. For example, if I press on T, it's going to type T. If I press and drag down, it's going to do the number 5. And if I do the U and I press and hold down, I get 7. If I just tap, I get the U. So it's a quick way to get to some symbols instead of switching the keyboard. To switch the keyboard to numbers, in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see kind of a question mark, 1, 2, 3. If I click on that, I'll get my numbers and my symbols. When you click on that the first time, you may be prompted to watch this little video about the click and drag feature. You can click OK, and then you should be able to get back to your numbers. The other thing that I have is I can hide my keyboard. In the bottom right-hand corner, it looks like a little keyboard. If I click on that, it's going to hide the keyboard. I can press anywhere on that screen to get the keyboard back. There are just a couple more apps that we would like to show you that are on the iPad. So I'm going to swipe to the next page, and we're going to talk about Clever and Teams. Clever allows you access to various online textbooks and library resources. So Clever is a little blue icon with a C, so we're going to go ahead and click on that. If it asks you to access your camera, you can go ahead and do allow access. This is so if you have a QR code from your teacher, you can hold that in front of the camera to log you into Clever. So we're going to go ahead and click allow, and we're just going to turn that on. And then I'm going to click the home button, and then I'm going to click Clever again. I do not have a badge to log in, so at the bottom, I want to make sure I do log in with username and password. And I want to log in with my Active Directory account. It should show your student account there, so we're going to click. And on this page, you need to enter your student account again and your password. Once you've entered your password, go ahead and click Login. So in Clever, I have access to my teachers' pages if they've created them. If I scroll down, I have access to online textbooks, and again, check with your teacher as to which ones you need to access. And if I keep scrolling down, I have the OPS Library Media Services, which are great websites to use as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and click my home button, and I'm going to open Teams. Teams is a purple icon with the letter T. Teams will typically show you your activities first, and then across the bottom are the different icons that you can switch to. So we're going to switch to Teams. And in Teams, it's going to go to the last team that I was in. And it's going to show me the post first. I still have files, and I can also click on more to see assignments and the class notebook and my grades. So to navigate to your different teams, if I needed to switch teams, I can scroll, and if I click on general, that will take me into that team. And again, I can click on my more, and I can have access to my assignments, the class notebook for that team, etc. I can also click on the assignments tab at the bottom to see all my assignments for my different classes. Two other icons we would like to point out on the iPad. First, you have the OPS website. So you should see the Omaha A+. If I click on that, that's going to take me to the district website. with links to lots of different resources. If I press the home button again, there's also one that says OPS 1-to-1. This takes you directly to our OPS 1-to-1 website with different resources and links to videos and handouts that can help you as you learn more about the iPad.